Hey guys, Lissa here, and today I want to talk to you about the legendary class cards that were introduced this expansion in Descent of Dragons. These are the legendary dragons. Each class got one. It doesn't matter if you were the evil class or the explorers, the good guys. Every single class got a dragon, and every single one got a legendary dragon. And we now have stats from HSReplay that show how good these dragons are and how many decks that we're seeing them in. So if you look at these numbers right here, the yellow numbers are the percent of decks that it is in for the class, and then the white numbers are the average deck win rates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each card for all the classes and tell you if I think he's a must craft, a watch list, or a do not craft kind of legendary, because legendaries are one of those things that's like so much just that you don't want to craft it and then it to be bad, because then you just wasted so much dust. So I'll let you know if I think he's a must craft, a maybe craft, a watch list, a do not craft, a throw it in the trash craft. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you all the things. Well, if we look at the first card, Malgus, Aspect of Magic. This card is used in almost all the mage decks right now. It's 80% used. This is probably because the most used mage decks right now are either going to be Highlander Mage, and this is going to perform well in a Dragon Highlander Mage, and just a straight Dragon Mage this could fit into. The only thing this card doesn't fit into is a Cyclone Mage. So that is why we see this in 8% of the list. I bet the other 20% are either doing Cyclone or they just don't own the card. And so that's why you see that 80%, 54% win rate for Malgus. So this win rate is not like, okay, Malgus has a 54% win rate. It's just saying the deck that it's in, that's the win rate of the deck. So that's a pretty good win rate. So I would say Malgus is, as of this point, a safe craft if you're looking to craft a legendary dragon. Malgus seems like a good one. The next card we have is Ysera Unleashed. Now, Ysera is a super cool card and strong. But if you look here, it has a 43% win rate in the decks that it's in. Now, why is that? Well, I don't think we've really found a strong Druid deck so far. If you look at the meta reports, there just doesn't seem to be a Druid deck on top. And I don't know if it's just because it's not going to be a tier 1 class, or if just we haven't discovered one because everyone's so obsessed with Shaman right now. I think when Shaman gets nerfed, which is happening next week if you haven't read the news, maybe Druid will have its comeback, and maybe this card will be really good because Druid can now fight against some of the things that it's seeing. So I would keep your eye on Ysera Unleashed, because as I've played it before, I would say it's a strong card, but it just doesn't have the support it needs right now in the current meta. So keep your eye on it. I don't think it's a must craft yet. The next card is Varanus. And Varanus is one of those cards that when I first saw it, I was like, this is underwhelming. It's a bit boring. Because if you read the text, it's change health of enemy minions to 1. That seems super boring. It's insanely strong. I love this card. I play it in my Highlander Hunter, and it destroys boards. A lot of the reason is because the Highlander Hunter, you can run a lot of tokeny things right now. You'll be able to clear off their minions. And if you think of this card, it's like Equality, which is a 4-mana spell, but it doesn't equality your own board, and you get a 7/6 body. So it's way stronger than Equality. I love this card. If I were to say what card do I think is a must craft, as of now, I think Highlander Hunter's strong, and I think this card would be one of the cards that I would say must craft. Okay. Okay, I do not know how to pronounce this. Zeraku. I don't know. The Warped. We'll call him Warped Boy. Warped Boy is the 8-mana 4/12 dragon for Warlock. And this card is seen in 40% decks, but it has a 52% win rate in those decks have a 52% win rate. This card is strong. I've played it. It feels strong. It feels powerful, especially in the late game. What happens is if you start to fatigue, every time you fatigue, you take a damage. And if this is out, you get a free 6/6 for taking damage. It's great. So I'd say this card's strong. It's a good craft if you like to play Warlock. Warlock is probably at least tier 2 in this meta. Again, I think Shaman's too strong for it. And if Shaman sees a nerf, then we could see some Warlocks being powerful. So again, just like Ysera, I would put this on your watch list for must crafts, because I do think he's a really good card. Oh God, another hard pronunciation. Why is reading so hard? Murozond, the infinite. We'll call him the infinite one. He is seen in 30% of the decks from the class and has a 41% win rate. All right, there's a lot of reasons for this if you interpret the data. First of all, there just doesn't seem to be a strong priest deck from this expansion. If you look at Zed a lot, he is a priest main. He is someone you go to for priest decks. He just can't seem to find one. And that's why you're not seeing this card in a ton of the priest decks. It's only 30%. That's because what a lot of people are doing is they're still running Combo Priest. Combo Priest is probably the #1 priest deck you're seeing on the ladder, and that doesn't even run any new cards. It's boring. It could run the Hot Air Balloon card, which is a 1-mana card. So that's why you're not seeing him much. And when you do see him, the deck has a 41% win rate, which is below average, which is why people aren't playing the deck. So as of now, I would say this is a do not craft. Maybe in the next year, Priest gets some more stuff to make him viable and make Priest viable again. Keep in mind that in January, a PvE is coming out where you can collect 34 new cards. That is in January. 34 new cards are being released. It's 34, pretty sure. So maybe there's cards there that can help him out. So for now, I would say he is a do not craft. All right, Waxadred is the rogue card, only seen in 16% of decks and has a 45% win rate. The reason Waxadred is not being seen right now is Waxadred is an anti-control card. Anti-control means that you're trying to out-fatigue them. When control decks go into fatigue, they can't do anything anymore. They can't ran out of their value and stuff. And so Waxadred's like, yo, I'm going to keep going into this person's deck. You can't get rid of me. And we aren't going to take fatigue damage. And so it's anti-control. But currently there's not control decks on the ladder. So this card isn't going to be valuable to you guys right now. But if a control deck ends up becoming powerful, then this card will become powerful. So for now, I'm going to say Waxadred is a do not craft. It would not make sense just in the current state of the meta. But if you do see the meta start to shift control, then I would put him on your watch list. Nozdormu, the Timeless. 4 mana, 8/8. So each player 10 mana. It's seen in 16% of the decks, and it has a 46% win rate. Honestly, I just don't know what's going on with Paladin. I don't know what they're trying to do with their dragons and what kind of deck lists that the devs see Paladin going to with those dragons. Both the Nozdormu cards. There's another dragon that's the 10 mana 4/12 that sets both heroes to 12 or full health. Sorry. I don't get where this fits into their decks, and so I think everyone else is confused. That's why he's only seen in 16% of the decks right now, and just isn't being successful. I would say this is a do not craft as of now, until we try to figure out what's going on with Paladin, because I don't think anyone really knows. That's why one of the best Paladin decks right now is just OTK Paladin, which has no new cards. All right, the next card is the Warrior card, Deathwing Mad Aspect. Deathwing Mad Aspect is a 8 mana 12/12, and it's only seen in 14% of the deck list. This is probably because a lot of people are running Pirate Warrior, or they're running a mid-range Galakron Warrior, and this card is more of a Control Warrior card. Not a lot of people playing Control Warrior right now, probably because it's a boring deck. But I think as the meta evolves, Control Warrior will be back soon. And I think this card will be probably be in all control decks. So I think this card is craftable. I think it will be in the meta. I just don't think it's in the early meta, because in early meta, not a lot of people like to play Control Warrior. But I think it will be there, and I think it will be good. Just keep your eye on him for sure. Nithog. So he is only in 4% of decks, but has a 54% win rate. The reasoning for this would probably be a couple of things. One, when people are playing Shaman right now, they're playing Galakron Shaman, whether it be the Battlecry version or the standard version. And so he doesn't really need to be in those decks, because those decks are already super powerful without it. So you're just not seeing him a lot. But when you do see him, he has a 54% win rate. This might be due to the fact that Shaman is the strongest deck or hero in the game right now. So it just all the cards around it are super powerful. It doesn't really mean that Nithog is powerful. And I don't really know how I feel about him still. I don't think he's that great. I wouldn't say he's a craft card. Like, I wouldn't call him a do not craft, but I don't think he's important to craft as of now. I think just he has a bunch of support around him, which is why he has a higher win rate. But you can see he's not needed in decks, and that's why he's only in 4%. There you have it. That is my interpretation of these dragon cards and their stats. I hope you enjoyed this meta update. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Please hit the notification button. It helps my video out so much. Subscribe. Do all the things that you do when you're on YouTube. And thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.